What's up, guys? Welcome to Real Beats. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make your own samples. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned post notifications on, make sure you do so because it does help out a lot. Let's hop right into it. So I'm going to show you how to make your own samples so that you can avoid having to clear samples, having to get copyrighted or content ID, all that stuff, right? So it's important that you know how to do this, like put together these samples. So I'm going to show you a plugin or two that you can use, and there's plenty more. The only problem is nobody shows you them, or they just kind of under the radar. There's plenty of plugins to do this. And Scalar 2 is one of like the most popular ones, but you have Guitarist, which will emulate a real guitar, right? It's specific to guitar. So how do you set this up? I'm not gonna go over all this stuff because it's not like a review over this plugin. It's just a part of the process. So how you set this up is go to VST Wrapper settings. All right, just like Scalar or anything, you put the output should be at 1 or whatever MIDI channel you want, because you want to output the signal into a VST, which would be my contact guitar. Go to input port, put it to 1, and now it's all set up. So let's go back here and we could just play. Right, you see how easy that is. Okay, now you can come in here and make your own patterns, and it's really easy to do it. Once you figure out what everything does, you can make your own patterns, save them. All right, so now how do you actually record that into MIDI so that you can mess with it in Contact? Because the special thing about Contact is you have key switches, and you probably can't even see it, but it's like these color notes. All right, now I'm not gonna go into detail on these like when I actually, edit it, but I'll probably just use a few of them. But that's where Contact shines. It's like the realism. So how to actually record these is you're going to need loop MIDI. All right, and you want to put it to 0, the port 0, so it can actually record those notes into like a MIDI form. So how do you do this? You go back to Guitarist and you put this to 0, output to 0, and then you see this little green little square. You want to make sure that is on the actual VST that is playing the sound. So like your guitar sound, right? So Contact in my case, record it and just play. Okay, simple as that. So now before you do anything else, put this back to 1, or you can put to nothing so that it doesn't play. All right, so now this isn't gonna play on our guitar. So now we go in, kind of edit it, make sure everything is on point, delete these end parts so it repeats. So I'm just go ahead and do that. Okay, now you have your okay, you can edit this however you like. Now, what I like to do is take, some of these notes, because this is like repeating the same melody over. So what I would like to do is kind of probably change one of these notes so it's kind of like in a song format. So kind of probably change this bass one. All right, so that is the guitarist portion, or like just the pattern portion. Now we're just gonna go on to the key switches. All right, so now we're just gonna go on Contact and just go over key switches real quick, because a lot of people don't seem to know what these are. So when you come into Contact, and you can't really see it because of how it's set up. And I wish you can I don't know why these VSTs are so large. Like I feel bad for laptop users, because man, like these VSTs do not need to be this large. You know what I mean? It could be half the size and it'll be fine. But basically, if you see these like colored notes down here, these are key switches, right? And it changes how it's being played. And if you do it right, you can make it sound really realistic. I'm not gonna necessarily do that. I'm probably use like one of them just to save time. but I'll just play it and show you what I mean. So now if you click one of these, it'll change the way it's played. Right, and you got stuff over here. All right, so we can use that, and then you got like this latch thing that makes it stop and go. So I'm gonna show you that, but we can put in now. You gotta be careful; it doesn't actually show you the note to use, so you gotta kind of mess around and kind of match the notes. So it's probably like up here. All right, just something to show you. And then we have this latch, which I use a lot. I think is it? Yeah, okay. So it's this. Now what you can do is play it and then make it stop. So right here, we can make it stop. We'll see, I already did it. And then to make it play again, you got to put the note just before the line, okay? So we can just copy this, well, not the whole thing. Just copy this over, just save a little bit of time. Put one here. You could just offset them a little bit. Give the VST time to kind of catch up. And I think that should be good. We can copy this back here. Then turn that into just a regular note. Okay, so here's the whole thing. Like, okay, as simple as that. So now we're gonna move on to arcade. All right, so now we're gonna go arcade, and everybody should know about arcade by now. Now, if anybody from arcade is watching this, please make this smaller. This is too large. Like, it doesn't need to be this large. Like, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I don't know how to change it, but this, bro, I don't need all this to be this large. Like, you can cut this in half. All right, because I can barely even fit this on the screen. But I got this drip. I think it's one of these. I think this is the flute one. Yeah, so we got, this is the preset I'm using. All right, so we need to adjust the key, and I believe the key was in E, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was in E, I believe. Yeah, okay. So with this, of course, y'all know, y'all seen this plenty of times. You can, all right, now you can really put these little samples in here and kind of mold it to your melody that you have here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So let's see if we can find something. Now here's the problem, is this latch. You gotta let it play out most of the time. So let's go ahead. I already know I'm using that one. And now we got to do the latch thing again. Now this is the only downside. I don't know, like I wish it would just play regularly, but hold up. Something right here is not sounding right. Let me see. Oh, let's pull them down a bit actually. Yes. All right, still need some work on this end, but so far it sounds good. All right, so now we can just go ahead and add that last bass. All right, so now here's the bass. This is pretty much the last part, and this is pretty easy because everything is laid out with the ghost notes. You can see everything in the background, the notes that you need to press. So kind of just follow somewhat of the lower notes. All right, just kind of find that perfect bass line. This, you know, it's easy. You don't really need this, but I just like putting it in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and all right, now we put that lower. All right, and a little bit of mixing and stuff, and you'll be good to go. And your sample is done. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just throw some drums on it just so I can have like an outro beat and, you know, just something to watch. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's go ahead and do a few of these drums. We'll probably just do the 808 real time and maybe the hi-hats or something, but the rest, it's not really that important, you know, for this video. So I might fast forward through it. So let's go ahead and turn these on. And let's go just copy this bass pattern. That's pretty much why I always use a bass when I'm making a sample, is to make it easier to make like a beat with it, right? So all right, now the bass is too low, but I'm not going to transpose it because I don't want to have to go back and change everything. But I might do it post-production. So let's go ahead and put this kick down. All right, so here's the finished beat, just real quick, and go. All right, needs a little bit of mixing, but that's it for this video. Hopefully this was helpful. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.